education and Prager U present freedom, liberty, something bullshit. Teaching us an alternative to critical race theory, Volume 4, The War of Northern Aggression and the Origins of Liberal Violence.
Hey kids! Regan the Republican Elephant here today, kids! I'll talk to you about the War of Northern Aggression, or as sometimes referred to as War Between the States, or the Second American Revolution, kids. Kids. Oh, these liberals, these Yankee retards, are going to call it the Civil War. Now, kids, I'm going to tell you why that is bullshit, kids. You'll see, here in the South, kids, once had our own nation, kids. We called ourselves the Confederate States of America, kids. About 150 years ago, we decided to secede from the Union, kids. For what reason? I couldn't fucking tell you, kids. I don't even know. But it doesn't matter. We decided for whatever reason it was, kids. Doesn't matter what it was. We decided we had the right to self-govern. To chop the country in half simply because that's what we wanted, kids. That's our right. This nation, which was totally legitimate nation, kids, was called the Confederate States of America. Which is a bit derivative, kids. I will admit it, kids. Not very original. Well, that's beside the point, kids. Now, just like, the United States didn't recognize us as a sovereign nation, and nor did any other sovereign nation, kids. So, smart-ass, carpetbagger, liberal, judgmental Yankees will ask, okay, what makes you think you're a sovereign nation? Well, I'll tell you why, smart-ass. For one, the United States government says nothing of secession. So obviously, it's implied each state can leave at its leisure. You'll see, kids, when our founding fathers defeated the British and won our independence, the original 13 colonies were recognized as 13 sovereign states, which then entered into the Union and created the United States of America. So what we did here in the South, including right here in Florida, we sent delegates to cast votes for our very own president, our very own constitution, the whole 9 yards, kids, and what amounted to off-brand elections, which would be essentially like having red state-only elections. American-only dream, kids. How great would that be, huh? Where the outcome was basically already determined. Sounds like true democracy to me, kids. Not only that, kids, our brave Confederate ancestors raided 7 different federal forts and armories, which is totally not an act of aggression, kids. Totally normal, business as usual stuff, kids, which requires no response from the federal government.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah.
Now you'll see, that's what made the Confederate States of America legitimate, kids. Off-brand elections, thus creating an illegitimate kangaroo shadow government armed with guns, which they stole. As you can see, kids, these are the good guys in the story. See, kids, Confederates were so intolerant, they viewed blacks as property, treated their wives like property, and they also couldn't stand working side by side with the Yankees within the context of government. They refused to work with those they disagreed with to come to a consensus, just like democracy is supposed to function. Instead, they acted like a bunch of babies and decided to make their own nation. Sounds like a really good idea, kids. That national divorce Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about sounds like an awfully good idea right about now. Now, these soy boy judgmental liberals, those northern supremacists, are going to lose their minds because I'm about to say, kids. What they won't tell you, kids, is ain't nobody was woke in America in the mid-19th century, okay? North, south, east, west, they were all what you would call, by today's standards, racist or white supremacists. Even the Union's tyrant leader, Abraham Lincoln, would be considered a white supremacist by today's standards, kids. They hated the blacks just as much as we do. I mean, did. Now, these liberals, they're going to say a bunch of disgusting, terrible lies, kids. They're going to say your great-grandpappy fought for slavery. But as we discussed in a previous video, The war was over states' rights, not slavery. It's really easy for these liberals with 150 years of hindsight to say that slavery is bad. Oh shit! You want a fucking NAACP award, liberal? So totally unprovoked, kids. After the brave Confederates formed their government, Lincoln formed an army to invade the South and conquer. You see, kids, Lincoln couldn't stand the idea that a bunch of states thought he was such a piece of shit. They seceded while on his watch. Well, you see, kids, a lot of people at the time viewed him as an illegitimate president because he didn't even win the popular vote, kids. Unlike our modern-day great Republican leaders, King George Bush II and Donald Trump, who absolutely mopped the floor with their opponents in the popular vote. Look it up, kids. It's 100% true. So they committed insurrection as a response to the election of an illegitimate president. Sounds really familiar, kids. That's the great thing about the American right, kids. We're always innovating. We're totally not just regurgitating old tired arguments which have been rejected by mainstream society for at least the last 150 years or so, kids. That's totally not what it is. You know what, kids? You know what? Despite being at war for 4 years, life in the Confederate States of America was idealistic, just like in the documentary film Gone with the Wind. Sipping lemonade on the front porch, enjoying being free. That's at least how it was for the whites. We're the only ones that matter in all this. For those 4 years, kids, we had our independence. This new nation was superior to the Yankees nation in every way. Even their armies and generals were inferior. Even their battle songs didn't measure up. The Union battle songs were all like, "My body is a weapon forged by God to put down the traitors and to ensure all men are free." And the Confederate songs were all like, "I'm a good old country boy." Alright, kids. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'll concede that, kids. Those Yankee songs are better. Clearly, whoever wrote the songs on the Confederate side had one too many chromosomes to understand the assignment, if you get what I'm saying. These Yankees, they even took our songs, like Dixie, and changed the lyrics to mock the South. Like there's some sort of northern supremacist Weird Al. Well, I don't think it's funny. Now, life in the Confederacy, you'll see, kids, yeah, it was basically perfect. There were maybe some minor inconveniences like hyperinflation and not being able to get certain goods like coffee, but you just understood that this inconvenience was just something you had to deal with as a result of the war, kids. It was definitely not Confederate President Jefferson Davis's fault. Absolutely not. In fact, it's stupid to blame a president for rising prices and shortages of certain goods. Things like that are just beyond the president's control sometimes, kids. This is something we're very consistent about, kids. Remember, what makes the liberals' argument weak and our argument strong is consistency, kids. But like all good things, they must come to an end. After 4 years of repelling the Yankee invasion, the Confederacy had to surrender to the Yankees' overwhelming numbers and resources. Something that only dawned on them after 4 years of fighting, kids. At the end of the war. It's not like they knew this from the beginning or anything. And you know what, too, kids? We probably would have gotten away with it too, kids. If it wasn't for the disgusting war crimes of these hypocritical Yankees. They're going to call brave men like our cavalry commander Nathan Bedford Forrest a war criminal for simply massacring a bunch of blacks. We're soldiers. They knew what they were signing up for, as President Trump would say. But then we have this guy, General Sherman, who marched through first Georgia, then the Carolinas. This no good Yankee, responsible for the rapes and murders of thousands, kids. It was disgusting, kids. You know what's even worse, kids? These liberals, they think it's all a joke. Go ahead. Google it. Memes fucking everywhere, kids. All kinds of jokes. Well, I don't think it's funny. It's not funny. These supposed woke liberals try to act like they're all accepting of ours. What a load of shit, kids. And are you starting to see a pattern, kids? They tore through cities, burning them down. That's what these liberals do when they don't get their way. Even before the war, kids, there was this guy, called himself John Brown. Yeah, very original name, huh, kids? Took a lot of imagination to come up with that one, huh? This terrorist. He would go around the Kansas territory and hack people up with his broadsword simply because they believed in states' rights, kids. Grade A liberal, if you ask me. Later, this terrorist raided an army along with 22 other accomplices seeking weapons to murder law-abiding slave owners and overthrow the government. And have the balls to call the Confederates traitors. But then, Robert E. Lee, yes, Robert E. Lee himself, came to the rescue and captured the traitor. And he was hanged like the traitor he was. But see, kids, in Yankee land, he's regarded as a hero. Sounds about right, right? That seems pretty on brand for them liberals. So you see, kids, if you do something in the name of helping blacks or, quote, racial justice, as it were, you can just do whatever the fuck you want, kids. That's how these liberals think. They think they're above the law, as long as they're helping out the blacks, as though laws of this great nation no longer apply. Well, it don't work like that, kids. The Civil War is very complicated. The War of Northern Aggression is very complicated, kids. We may never know why it happened, just like President Trump said. People ask all the time, why was there a Civil War? We'll just never agree, kids. It will always be the War of Northern Aggression in the South, and the Yankees will call it the Civil War, and that's just how it's going to be. It really should tell you something, kids, that someone like with the genius of Donald Trump can't even get to the bottom of it. This is the man. 1 second, kids. I need to make sure I get this right. He memorized person. Let's see. Gotta get this right. Okay. He memorized person, woman, man, camera, TV. In that exact order, kids. He remembered 5 things. That's very impressive. Not a whole lot of people can do that. Let me give it a try. It went woman, man, TV, camera, person. Was that right? Look down here. Nope. See? I was way off, kids. So if Trump can't figure it out, what makes these Yankees think they have all the answers, huh? People like me believe it was about states' rights. And these woke liberal fags will call me a clown. I'm not a clown! I'm a grown-ass, rich old white man who dresses up like an elephant. But I am no clown. And to highlight these Yankees' intolerance and hypocrisy, I present to you kids our great Confederate monuments, kids. They want to cancel them. What you'll say, kids, they think it's okay to have their monuments for the fascist Yankees who overthrew a democratically elected government. They have a lot of weird rituals up there in Yankee land, kids. They have this guy named Puxatawny Phil Collins. He's a very bad hombre, okay, kids? Definitely don't go swimming with Puxatawny Phil Collins, kids. He'll just watch as you drown, then he'll tell you the weather. Well, I guess that's weird and okay, just as long as it's not racist. Now, it's no secret, kids, that Mr. Reagan here is not a big fan of the blue state hellscape, which calls itself New Hampshire. There are many of these Union monuments throughout the state of New Hampshire, but I guess that's okay for some reason. In one such town, called Raymond, no, not Raymond, Georgia, but Raymond, New Hampshire, there's a statue, kids. It's a Yankee soldier. He stands on a pedestal several feet in the air, kids. You know what these smart-ass Yankees did, kids? I have the Yankee soldier looking towards the south. Keep an eye on us, kids, like we're the troublemakers. But you see, kids, those statues are okay, but ours are, quote, bad. You wanna know why? I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. If you guess because they're racist, you'll be right. Why? Why are they racist? Do they have plaques on them praising the Klan or white supremacy? And even if they did, how does that make them racist? I don't see how they're racist. They're history. And if you're so offended by history, you're just a snowflake, soy boy SJW cock, and that's your problem. These liberals want a world where everyone's the same, nothing's difficult, the government takes care of you, and everyone gets a participation trophy. And we get it. Slavery happened, but it was 150 years ago. Get over it! Hey kids! Check out my War of Northern Aggression action figures. Here you got Stonewall Jackson. Here's my Jefferson Davis figure. And old Moss Robert here. You can see him with his trusty rifle. He calls her Slave Driver. And here's my Nathan Bedford Forrest figure, kids. His other outfit is sold separately, if you know what I mean. That's a KKKMart.com online exclusive. If you get my drift. Catch my drift. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, kids? Now, kids, these liberals will point to when these monuments were constructed, and a lot of them will point to the time in which a lot of them were built. And a lot of these statues, full disclosure, were erected during the Civil Rights Movement. You know how those blacks burned down cities and riot? Yeah, well, here we go again. Look it up, kids. Look up the Civil Rights Movement. Riots and violence wherever the blacks went, kids. And so, as our great Confederate generals were the upholders of law and order, as these rampaging Yankees invaded the South, these statues were erected to remind these lawbreakers to mind the law. But I guess since most of them were black, that makes the statues racist. That's how liberal fags think, kids. They're stupid. Well, where were we? Yeah, and not only that, kids, the liberals want us to change our holidays, kids. Confederate Memorial Days and holidays dedicated to great Confederates like Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, and Nathan Bedford Forrest are still observed throughout the South. Nathan Bedford Forrest, in fact, kids, still had a bust of himself residing inside the Tennessee State Capitol building until just last July. I encourage you to do some research on the man, kids. Yes, kids, that Nathan Bedford Forrest. No, you didn't. Must type his name in the Wikipedia search box, kids. No, there isn't another famous Nathan Bedford Forrest. That's right. A bust of him was still inside the Tennessee State Capitol till 2021. Fucking Christ, huh? But luckily for us, freedom lovers, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves designated the month of April as Confederate Heritage Month. 1 month after, kids, Mr. Reeves banned any discussion of race in their schools. Let me repeat that. 1 month after banning the discussion of race in school, kids, Governor Reeves designated the month of April as Confederate Heritage Month. I'm sure our teachers in the great state of Mississippi have no problem explaining Confederate Heritage Month to their students and explain what said holiday is about, while being completely ambiguous about the race of the parties involved and what the central conflict was over. It's not only our governors who are fighting back against this intolerance, because Ray Cicerelli, one of our great racers of the divine sport NASCAR, announced he would be retiring after NASCAR caved into the terroristic demands of the woke mob and announced the banning of the Stars and Bars at all of its events after the George Floyd riots, kids. After an illustrious career of not winning a single race, Cicerelli did the most Confederate thing you could do. Quit. And not put up with this bullshit. He later decided against retirement and raced again the following year, continuing to rack up no wins. On a white, kids, it's an excellent metaphor for the American right. And here's a little bit of trivia, because these liberals want to say those monuments are weird because there's no other country in the Western world which tolerates, quote, traitor statues. To which I say, it's not weird. In fact, our friends in Germany, the neo-Nazis, Mr. Trump's very fine people, also fly the stars and bars proudly. Which, you know, could only mean one thing. They're a big supporter of American states' rights. I can't imagine it would be for any other reason, kids. They can't fly the swastika, kids, because they don't believe in freedom of speech, just like the liberals don't. So instead, they decided to show their support for states' rights. Ain't that cool, kids? Bet you won't hear that from the Heritage Not Hate crowd. That's all the time I have today, kids. Remember, to control the baby population, young men, do what Tucker Carlson says, and tan those balls. And you young ladies out there, keep those legs shut. Goodbye for now.